Recently, President Murmu called for the setting up of an all-India judicial service as a way to ensure equal representation of India's diversity in the judiciary, stressing that the cause of justice was best served by making it accessible to all. The President of India, Draupadi Murmu, graced the Constitution Day celebrations, being organized by the Supreme Court of India on 26 November 2023. Speaking on the occasion, the President said that the cause of justice is best served by making it accessible for all. This also strengthens equality. We should ask ourselves whether every single citizen is in a position to seek justice. On introspection, we realize that there are many barriers in the way. Cost is the most significant factor. There are other barriers like language, which is beyond the comprehension of a majority of citizens. Points highlighted in the speech, the President said that more varied representation of India's unique diversity on bench and bar definitely helps serve the cause of justice better. One way to hasten this diversification process can be the creation of a system in which judges can be recruited from varied backgrounds through a process which is merit-based, competitive, and transparent. There can be an all-India judicial service which can select brilliant youngsters and nurture and promote their talents from lower levels to higher levels. Those who aspire to serve the bench can be selected from across the country to create a larger pool of talent. Such a system can offer opportunities to the less represented social groups too. The President said that in order to improve the access to justice, we should seek to make the overall system citizen-centric. Our systems have been products of time, more precisely, products of colonialism. The President said that as we celebrate the Constitution Day, we should note that the Constitution is after all only a written document. It comes alive and remains alive only if its contents are put into practice. That requires the exercise of interpretation. She also appreciated the Supreme Court for playing the role of the final interpreter of our founding document to the perfection. She stated that this court's bar and bench have constantly raised the standards of jurisprudence. Their legal acumen and scholarship has been par excellence. Like our Constitution, our Supreme Court too has been a model for many other nations. About All India Judicial Service, the 𝐼𝐨𝐵 is a reform initiative aimed at centralizing the hiring of district judges and additional district judges across the nation. It is suggested that judges of the lower judiciary be hired nationally and distributed to states, much like the Union Public Service Commission recruits candidates centrally and assigns qualified applicants to cadre. Need of 𝐼𝐨𝐵's vacancy of judges. Currently, there are almost 5,400 open jobs in the lower courts across the country, and 2.78 crore cases are pending there, mostly as a result of the state's excessive delays in scheduling regular tests. Increased pendency of cases, the ever-continuing decline in their quality will delay delivery of justice, increase pendency of cases, impair quality of judgments, and in turn affect the competence of the higher judiciary as well. Low salaries and reward state government reimbursement, in addition to poor salary and perks, deters pinnacle talent from choosing state judicial services. The efficiency of judicial administration, 𝐼𝐨𝐵s would attract the best talents in the country and therefore could maintain high standards of judicial administration. Representation of the marginalized section by following the reserve system in recruitment, underrepresented communities are represented in the judiciary. Benefits of 𝐼𝐨𝐵's efficient judiciary. Young, knowledgeable judicial officers at the additional district judge level will make a difference, and a well-run judicial service can draw talent from our law schools. They can facilitate quicker and more effective court system operations as district judges and ADJs. Ease of doing business. Since effective dispute resolution is one of the main factors affecting India's ease of doing business ranking, the government has focused on reforming the lower judiciary. Representative character. 𝐼𝐨𝐵s will improve the representative character of the judiciary by hiring trained officials from underprivileged sectors of society, especially women and SC. Attracting the best talent. The government believes that if such a service comes up, It would help create a pool of talented people who could later become a part of the higher judiciary. The bottoms-up approach in the recruitment would also address issues like corruption and nepotism in the lower judiciary. Criticism of 𝐼𝐥𝐸's times the centralization of the recruitment process has been interpreted by some as a breach of federalism and infringes on states' powers set out in the Constitution. Central recruitment would not be able to address the unique concerns that individual states may have. For example, language and representation are key concerns highlighted by states. Judicial business is conducted in regional languages, which could be affected by central recruitment. Times also, reservations based on caste, and even for rural candidates or linguistic minorities in the state, could be diluted in a central test. The opposition is also based on the constitutional concept of the separation of powers. A central test could give the executive a foot in the door for the appointment of district judges and dilute the say that high courts have in the process. Times the creation of 𝐼𝐥𝐸s will not address the structural issues plaguing the lower judiciary. Current status of appointment of judges. Currently, the appointment of judges of the Supreme Court and the High Court and the transfer of judges from one High Court to another had to be made in accordance with Articles 124, 217 and 222 of the Constitution of India. The appointment of judges is made by the President in consultation with the Chief Justice and other judges 𝐼𝐨𝐥𝐿 collegium system. The overwhelming volume of cases that need to be resolved urgently necessitates the creation of a mechanism for recruiting capable judges in huge quantities. However, consensus building and a bold move in the direction of 𝐼𝐥𝐸s are required before it enters the legislative framework.